Hey guys, it's me again, and today, sorry, I'm back for part two of the Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom movie review because my camera stopped because I had an alarm for me to have my lunch and yeah, I'm gonna have my lunch after I finish this movie review. So back onto the video. Sorry, that was part one I just did there, and now we're back on for part two. So I continue to talk about Willie Scott, the girl that Indiana Jones fancies. Yeah, she's played by Kate Capshaw. Yeah, this movie also stars Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones. He's in all four of the movies. He plays Indiana Jones, and Ke Huy Quan, who plays his sidekick, the little Chinese boy. Yeah, and Willie Scott. She's played by Kate Capshaw, who's also in this movie, and and yeah. So I was continuing. Go from high flying action above the Himalayas to a nail biting runaway mine car chase, and finally a spine tingling escape from a fortress like mine in India. Hang on tight as the world's ultimate action hero takes you on a heart pumping roller coaster ride of adventure that's guaranteed to keep you on the edge of your seat. And another thing about the plot is it's basically about Indiana Jones, the little Chinese boy, and his girlfriend Willie Scott. Basically have to go to the Himalayas to try and get back a stone. That's part of religion. For these people, it's to give these poor people in religion food and stuff. They have to bring back a stone. They have to bring back a stone that they can use to get food and other stuff they need because they're poor. So they have to go to the Himalayas to bring back a stone, for the poor people in religion. And basically, crazy things happen to them along their journey. They're being attacked by evil monkeys. And there's one scene where Indiana Jones, he drinks this potion, he gets hypnotized, and he becomes one of the evil zombie monkeys. And the little Chinese boy's little friend is like, Indy, come back, Indy. But he's going a bit mad. He's hypnotized, and he has to try and he has to try and knock him out by burning by putting by put by he has to try and knock him out by he has to try and knock him out by burning him with fire. So he'll snap out of his hypnotized of the evil zombie monkey, and then he snaps out of it when the kid burns him with fire, and then he becomes back to his normal self. He starts fighting off the evil monkey zombies. Yeah, so that's basically all the crazy things happen along the journey, while they're going to the Himalayas to try and get stone, and that's basically the main plot of the film. Yeah, yeah, I love this movie so much. It's my favorite movie out of the Indiana Jones movies. I think this movie's way better than the first one, but the first one's still good. I think it's way better than the third and fourth one as well, but the third and fourth one are still good. So this one's the best out of the trilogy. This movie is a great movie. It's a classic movie from the 80s. I love it. Raiders of the Lost Ark, Lost Crusade, and Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Well, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull didn't come out in the 80s. It came out in the 2000s. That's a classic movie from the 2000s. The Last Crusade is a classic movie from the 80s. And so is Raiders of the Lost Ark. But in my opinion, Temple of Doom's the best, and this is such a classic. This is such a classic movie from the 80s. I love it. Yeah, it's a great classic movie from the 80s. I love it. Yeah, so this is such a great film. I definitely rate this movie. I rate the first one an 8 out of 10. I rate the third and fourth one a 9 out of 10. I rate this one definitely a 10 out of 10. This classic movie from the 80s deserves a 10 out of 10. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom does. Yeah, it's a great movie. I love it. 10 out of 10. It's a great movie. I love it. I love the story. I like the story of the first, third, and fourth one, but this has the best story in my opinion. I love the story of this. The first, third, and fourth one are exciting too, but this one's the most exciting. Yeah, I love the story of this one. This movie, Temple of Doom, is so exciting. The story's so exciting. The action is good of the first one, three, and four. But the action in this one is the best. There's so much great action in this one. I love all the action in it. It's great action. I love it in the Temple of Doom. Yeah, especially my favorite character. Well, really in one, three, and four. And this one, my favorite character is really Indiana Jones. Yeah, my favorite character is really Indiana Jones, but in this one, I quite like the little Chinese boy as well. He's very funny and he's very cute and good. I like the way he likes Indiana Jones. He's his friend, he like his sidekick. Yeah, so Indiana Jones is basically my favorite character of this movie and the first, third, and fourth one. Yeah, and the little Chinese boy is good in this movie too. He's one of my favorite characters in this movie. And Willie Scott, Willie Scott, the girl he likes is a good character as well. I think she's my favorite girl that Indiana Jones goes out with. I like the one she goes out with in the first one. I don't know the name from the third and fourth one, but Willie Scott in this Temple of Doom is mainly my favorite girl that Indiana Jones fancies and he goes out with. And the Chinese boy is a great character in this movie, and Indiana Jones is my favorite character in this movie, and I like the Chinese boy and Willie Scott, the girl he fancies and goes out with in the Temple of Doom. Yep. The reason why it's called the Temple of Doom, um, the reason why the first one's called Raiders of the Lost Ark is because there are these raiders when he's going to find the Moses tablet, the religious thing where the thing he's finding in the first one, and the Lost Ark is where the Moses tablets are kept, and this one's called the Temple of Doom because temples are the things that the stones are kept in. And oh yeah, sorry, no, sorry, I'm wrong. The reason why this one's called the Temple of Doom is because the temple is the big room that they're in of the evil zombie monkeys, and doom means that there's danger in the room with the evil zombie monkeys, that they're attacking them and stuff. And the reason why the third one's called the Last Crusade is because they're trying to find the Last Crusade. The Last Crusade is the one about him and Indiana Jones and his father, played by Sean Connery. And I thought his father was good in the third one. Yeah, he's a great character played by Sean Connery. He did a good job on playing the father. I thought he was great in the Last Crusade, the third movie. And lastly, the reason why the fourth one is called Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is because they have to go to a kingdom and they have to find the crystal skull. Yeah, and Kate Blanchett is good in the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. She's great as one as the villains who's trying to get the Crystal Skull before Indiana Jones does. Yep. And Sheila, and Shia LaBeouf was good in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull as well. He's good as the kid. He's good as a teenager on the motorbike. I thought he was great in the fourth one. Yeah, he's only Kate Blanchett and Shia LaBeouf are only in the fourth are only in the fourth Indiana Jones movies. They're not in the Raiders of the Lost Ark, the Temple of Doom, and the Last Crusade. Yeah, they're only in the newest one for the 2000 Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Yeah, the fourth one. And this movie, Temple of Doom, is the second one out of the Indiana Jones movies, my favorite. Yep. And what else do I have to say about this movie? Oh yeah, and Harrison Ford is great in the first, third, and fourth one, but I think he's the best in this one as Indiana Jones. Harrison Ford is great as Indiana Jones. Definitely in this one, the Temple of Doom, Harrison Ford is great as Indiana Jones. He's great in the first, third, and fourth one, but I think he's the best in this one, the Temple of Doom, in my opinion. Yeah, Harrison Ford is great as Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom and Raiders of the Lost Ark, Last Crusade, and Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. But Harrison Ford is Indiana Jones. He's good as Indiana Jones, the best in this one. Yep, Harrison Ford. Yep. Harrison Ford's a great actor. Harrison Ford's a great actor. I love him. Yeah, and so is Shia LaBeouf and Shia LaBeouf and Kate Blanchett. They're great actors. I love them, and Harrison Ford's a great actor. My favorite one out of all of them is Harrison Ford. He's a great actor. And I also like Harrison Ford in movies such as The Call of the Wild. That's a great movie. It's not as good as Indiana Jones and Temple of Doom and the other Indiana Jones movies, but it's still a good movie. I love it. And Harrison Ford also was a character in the Secret Life of Pets 2. He played the big dog. Yeah, when they went on a road trip in the Secret Life of Pets 2. That movie's a good movie. It's not as good as the first Secret Life of Pets movie, but it's still good. He's only in the second one. He's not in the first one. Yep. Harrison Ford was also in. He's also in the Star Wars movies, which Um, he's also in the Star Wars movies. Harrison Ford is. He plays Han Solo, which I'm not big into the Star Wars movies, but I guess some of them are okay. I'm not big into the Star Wars movies, but I guess some of them are okay. But I know Harrison Ford plays Han Solo in them. I haven't actually seen any of them. I don't know if I'll watch them or not because I'm not big into Star Wars. Yeah, no, I don't know. Yeah, but he plays Han Solo and that Harrison Ford does. And Harrison Ford, let me think what else Harrison Ford is. While I'm here, I'll think what Kate Blanchett was in. The only film I think I know Kate Blanchett was in was The House with a Clock in Its Walls, which is a great movie in my opinion. It's not as good as the Indiana Jones movies, but but The House with a Clock in Its Walls is still a great movie. That movie also has Jack Black in it, which is another great actor. So yeah, that's the only thing I know Kate Blanchett was in, as well as Kate with a Crystal Skull. And I know Shia LaBeouf was in some of the Transformers movies, which I haven't seen any of the Transformers movies, but I'm not sure about them because I'm not big into Transformers. Well, I would watch Bumblebee because I heard that's supposed to be the best. The one I will watch Bumblebee because I've got on DVD. I've heard that's supposed to be one of the best Transformers movies. So I might watch that. It's a spin off. It's a spin off and prequel to Transformers. So I might watch it over the summer sometime. I've had it on DVD for 3 years. I got it in I got it out my birthday money back in August of 2019, and I still haven't got around to watch it, but I will hopefully watch it this summer, Bumblebee. Even though I'm not big into Transformers, but I will watch that one because it's supposed to be good. And I know Shia LaBeouf was in some of the Transformers movies. I don't know if he's in Bumblebee though. He might be. I don't know. And Shia LaBeouf, he was also in Holes, the movie I have on DVD. Holes, yeah, I read the book in primary school and I watched the movie in primary school and I watched the movie at home here. And Holes, the book is great and the movie is just as good as it. Holes is a great movie. I must give that a rewatch this summer. Hopefully I'll see Holes. It's a great movie in my opinion. I recommend you watch Holes if you haven't seen it. It's a great movie with Shia LaBeouf in it. Yeah, and Sigourney Weaver is in that movie as well. She's a great actress. I love her. And that's all I know who's in Hull, Sigourney Weaver and Shia LaBeouf, which is who plays the main character, Stanley, that's his name in Hulls. Yep. Yep. And Sigourney Weaver was also in Paul, which is another great movie in my opinion. Yep. The Alien movie. Yep. I really wish I could get some Indiana Jones t-shirts and some the all four Indiana Jones movie posters. Definitely Temple of Doom because this movie's my favorite. I don't know. I might ask. I'll see. Yep. Speaking of Indiana Jones, they're making a new Indiana Jones movie called Indiana Jones 5. I don't know what the story is going to be called, but I know they're making an Indiana Jones 5. I don't know why they're making an Indiana Jones 5 because Harrison Ford is too old. He's a lot younger when the first four Indiana Jones movies came out, but I have no idea why they're making a new one, Indiana Jones 5, and Harrison. I don't know why Harrison Ford's coming back. Um, to play Indiana Jones because he's a bit too old. But I'm not slagging him or anything. I'm just saying I don't know why Harrison Ford has come back to play Indiana Jones. He's a great actor. I love him as Indiana Jones, but I don't know why he's coming back. He's too old. But I'm sure people would mind him being old. I wouldn't mind him being old. I'm just saying I don't know why. I hope that Indiana Jones 5 movie when I go see it in cinemas when it comes out next year. I don't know when it's coming out. I hope it might be a good movie, even though Harrison Ford's old, it still might be good. And they might he might be doing something exciting. We'll have to wait and see when it comes out. Indiana Jones 5. Yeah. Hopefully it won't be like that. What my parents watched Rambo: Last Blood with Sylvester Stallone when he was really old looking in it. I'm hoping it won't be like that. My mom said Indiana Jones 5 will definitely be way better than Rambo: Last Blood, even though Harrison Ford's going to be very old in it. Yeah, and that one's not going to be directed by Steven Spielberg. It's going to be directed by I don't know his name, but I can't remember his name. Who it's going to be directed by, but this one, The Temple of Doom and Rise of the Lost Ark, Last Crusade, and Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, those all those four movies were directed by Steven Spielberg. And Steven Spielberg did the best job on directing this one, Temple of Doom, because my favorite. I did a good job on directing Rise of the Lost Ark, Last Crusade, and Kingdom of the Crystal Skull as well. Steven Spielberg did. Yeah, Steven Spielberg's a great director. Yeah, he's a great director from the 80s. Yeah, I'd say my favorite Harrison Ford movies are Indiana Jones and yeah, Temple of Doom. Yeah, and Steven Spielberg. Yeah, he's a great director. I love him. He's done great films from the 80s, such as E.T. the Extraterrestrial. That's a great movie from Steven Spielberg, in my opinion. Um, yeah, Jeff Goldblum's also in Jurassic Parks, and Steven Spielberg. He also did the Jurassic Parks, which are great movies in my opinion. He did the two Gremlins movies. The second one isn't as good as the first one, but the first one's so good. The first one's the best. The first one's the best. The first one's the best Gremlins movie. Steven Spielberg did them two movies as well. They're great movies. I love them. And Steven Spielberg, he also did West Side Story, which is his newest film that came out last year at Christmas. I did a movie review on that on my channel as well back in March of this year when I watched it on Disney Plus. You can check that out on my YouTube channel. And West Side Story is a great movie from Steven Spielberg, in my opinion. Yeah, I love that movie. Yep, that's his newest one. Um, Indiana Jones, of course. Indiana Jones, of course. Steven Spielberg did these movies that I'm reviewing. Yeah, a lot of people think he directed Back to the Future. But I think Steven Spielberg to Back to the Future. I think Steven Spielberg produced the Back to the Future movies. Yes, a lot of people think I thought he directed them. A lot of people do, but guys, he actually produced this Back to the Future movie. Steven Spielberg did, and they're great movies. Produced by Steven Spielberg. Back to the Future are, they're great movies. I love them. Yep. What else films does Steven Spielberg do? Yep. I think Steven Spielberg. Steven Spielberg. A lot of people think he directed the Jurassic Worlds as well. I thought he did as well. But Steven Spielberg produced the Jurassic World movies, even the new one, Dominion, and he did the first and second one, Fallen Kingdom. Steven Spielberg produced the three Jurassic World movies. Yeah, a lot of people think he directed them, but he produced the Jurassic World movies. Yep, and the Jurassic Parks are the ones he directed. Yeah, I know. I think he must have. I think he might have produced the third one. Someone else directed the third one. I think he produced the third one. Yeah, but he directed the first two Jurassic Park movies, Jurassic Park and the Lost World Jurassic Park. Yep. Yeah, and what else did Steven Spielberg do? That's all I can think Steven Spielberg did. There's so many films I don't want to mention them all. But out of all of them, my favorite Steven Spielberg movie. A lot of people, I know guys, you're gonna think it's Indiana Jones, but my favorite Steven Spielberg movie is actually E.T. the Extraterrestrial. That's the best Steven Spielberg movie in my opinion. I do like Indiana Jones. I do like Indiana Jones movies too. They're my second favorite Steven Spielberg movies. Indiana Jones movies are, but E.T. the Extraterrestrial is many of my favorite Steven Spielberg movie. Yeah, and third favorite is the Jurassic Park movies. They're my third favorite Steven Spielberg movies. Yeah, I love them. And I also like Back to the Future, and I think he produced. I thought he directed Forrest Gump, but that's Robert Zemeckis. Steven Spielberg, I think, produced Forrest Gump, which is another great Steven Spielberg movie in my opinion. Yeah, my weakest Steven Spielberg movie that I've seen, but still a good movie, is Catch Me If You Can. That's the weakest Steven Spielberg movie I've seen, but still a good movie. He directed that as well. Yep, yep. I like Forrest Gump and Catch Me If You Can as well. They're good movies. And I also like Gremlins, the first one. The second Gremlins movie is another one of his weakest movies, but it's still a good movie. But I do like the first Gremlins movie. That's a great movie. It's a great Christmas movie. I love it. The second one isn't a Christmas movie, but the first one is. I must watch that. I didn't get to watch it this Christmas because I had a lot of other movies to watch, like A Boy Called Christmas and Elf and all those other Christmas movies. There's so many I don't want to mention them all. But I will watch Gremlins. But I will watch Gremlins this Christmas, 2022. If I get a chance, I'll see. Because a great film for Christmas. The first one is, and I like West Side Story as well. That's a great movie from Steven Spielberg. I love that movie. Yep. I watched that recently, by the way. I watched that back in March of this year. Yep, on Disney Plus when it came out in March of this year. Yep. I didn't see it in cinemas because I wasn't, I wasn't, I wasn't that keen on seeing it in cinemas, so I decided to just wait until it comes out on Disney Plus to watch it. And I watched it on Disney Plus. It actually surprised me. I actually really enjoyed it. It was a great movie. I might get it on DVD later this year. I'll see. Yeah, since I love the movie, to add it to my Steven Spielberg DVD collection as well, and to rewatch it in the future. Yep, and it's on Disney Plus as well. Yep. That has Ansel Elgort in it, which I love Ansel Elgort. He's a great actor. The only other film I know him from is Baby Driver, which Baby Driver is a great movie. I don't know why a lot of people don't like Baby Driver, but I actually like Baby Driver. Baby Driver is a great movie from Ansel Elgort, and a great film from Edgar Wright, which Edgar Wright's one of my favorite directors. He's not as good as Steven Spielberg, but he's still a great director. Yeah, Edgar Wright's my second favorite director, and Steven Spielberg's my favorite director. Edgar Wright did films like the Three Flavors Cornetto trilogy. Films include Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and The World's End. And Edgar Wright did my favorite Edgar Wright movie, and also my favorite movie of all time, Scott Pilgrim versus the World. That's a great movie from Edgar Wright, and a great movie from Michael Cera, my favorite actor. I love him, and that's a great movie from Edgar Wright. I love that movie. And the Three Flavors Cornetto trilogy, Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and The World's End. They're great movies from Edgar Wright too. I love those movies. Yep. Simon Pegg was great. Yep. And what else did Edgar Wright do? Well, he did Baby Driver, of course, which Baby Driver is a great movie from Edgar Wright. It's not as good as the Three Flavors Cornetto trilogy and Scott Pilgrim versus the World, but Baby Driver is still a great movie from Edgar Wright, and Ansel Elgort as well. And Edgar Wright has a new film out that just came out last year, back in October during Halloween, called Last Night in Soho, which I don't know if I'll get that on DVD or watch it. I don't know. It got good review. It got great reviews. I think I might get it on DVD and watch it. I'll see, because it is Edgar Wright, so it's bound to be good. Because I love his previous movies like Scott Pilgrim, Cornetto, and Baby Driver. Yep. So I might watch Last Night in Soho, get it on DVD and watch it in the future. I'll see, by Edgar Wright. Yep, I'll see. And Ansel Elgort was great in Ansel Elgort was great in Baby Driver, and he was great in West Side Story as well. I loved him in West Side Story and Baby Driver. He was great. Yep, he's a great actor. I love him. A lot of people don't like the Cornetto movies, Shaun the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and The World's End, and Scott Pilgrim versus the World. But I don't know why, but I actually like Cornetto and Scott Pilgrim. Um, they're great movies. I love them from Edgar Wright. Yep, yep, yep. The World's End is the weakest one out of the Cornetto movies. It's not as good as Shaun the Dead and Hot Fuzz, but it's still a good movie in my opinion. I love it. Yep. And George, And George Lucas did a great job on producing. George Lucas did a great job on producing the Temple of Doom, and he did a great job on producing Raiders of the Lost Ark, Last Crusade, and Kingdom of the Crystal Skull as well. But he did the best job on producing Temple of Doom, in my opinion. Yep. And this movie, there's some there's some funny bits in this movie as well that I love. This movie's also very this movie's also very funny. I love the funny bits in this movie, Temple of Doom. It's very funny. I love the funny bits in this movie, Temple of Doom. They're great. It's very funny. I love it. And the Raiders of the Lost Ark, Last Crusade, and Kingdom of the Crystal Skull are very, some bits in those movies are very funny too. But this one, the Temple of Doom, has the most funny bits in my opinion. It's a very funny movie. I love it. And the Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, and Last Crusade are very funny movies too. I love them. This is the funniest movie. Yep. Okay, that's basically all I have to say. That's basically my review on Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Hope you enjoyed it, and I love this movie so much. It's a classic. It's a classic movie from the 80s. It's a great movie. I love it so much. Yeah, my favorite movie out of the Indiana Jones movies, in my opinion. Yep. And stay tuned for my next movie review, which is going to be a movie review on another classic movie from the 2000s. My favorite movie out of the Harry Potter movies. It's gonna be a movie review on it's gonna be it's gonna be it's gonna be a movie review on Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, and that's gonna be my next movie review, and that's gonna be the movie review tomorrow. So stay tuned for that movie review. I can't wait to see it. It's gonna be great. And I'm also gonna do a movie review on the Sean Levy and Ryan Reynolds movie that's a Netflix original called The Adam Project. Yeah, I'm going to do a movie review on that as well tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. I'm also going to do a movie review on Fantastic Beasts 3: The Secrets of Dumbledore, which is one of my newest films that I've seen in the cinema. I saw back in April during the Easter holidays, and yeah, we'll do a movie review on that tomorrow as well. And then The Adam Project I watched recently during the Easter holidays on Netflix. Back when it came out March of this year. Yep. And I will also do a movie review on the new DreamWorks movie, the latest one, The Bad Guys, which I saw in cinemas over my Easter holidays as well. One of my latest films. Yeah, we'll do a movie review on that tomorrow as well. And I'm also got the last movie review now. I'm going to do a movie review on the first Fantastic Beasts movie, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Yeah, which I watched that movie. I watched that movie recently back in April of my Easter holidays of this year, and I watched the Harry Potter movies recently this year as well. Yeah, and Fantastic Beasts movies as well. Yep. And same with Jurassic Park. I've watched them recently too. So I hope you enjoyed this movie review, and stay tuned for my next few movie reviews coming tomorrow, and more movie reviews coming soon in the near future. Yep. So yeah, guys, thank you for watching my video. See you in my next video, and goodbye. Peace.